In this demo, I want to show you one of the really cool kind of quote unquote Photoshop magic things that you can do here in Photoshop, and that's simply replacing the sky in an image. They have made it so easy to do. It's just fun to play with. So I'm going to go to File and Open. On my desktop, I'm going to go out and find my Chapter 5 folder, and I will go to 5.2. And what I have is this image right here. Okay, picture my son and his cousins, his aunt and uncle, but I don't really like that sky. Obviously, I don't have control over the weather. So I want to change the look of the sky. And literally, without even touching anything, I can just go to Edit menu, Sky Replacement. Let Photoshop do all its magic. So you can see it processing right here. Now I get this window, and I have my choice of different Photoshop skies. So I'll click this one, let it render. Maybe I want more clouds in the sky, like that, or really puffier clouds right here. Or maybe I want stormier clouds off on the horizon. Or I want a picture at sunset. Okay, that's fun to play with. The only bad part that I don't like is that everybody who has Photoshop has all these same clouds. Okay, I want to use my own clouds. Maybe on an afternoon, I photographed a good set of clouds that I liked, not the ones that everybody else has. Okay, so right here, I can take, and we'll just start with this blue sky. You know, really, really flat and boring. But right down here, I have a plus. I want to add a picture that doesn't come with Photoshop. So now I can go back to my desktop, find my Chapter 5 sky replacements, and now I look at these ones. Maybe I like this one. I'll click Open, and now I pick the sky that I just added in there. Cool, I like that. That's a lot more clouds, but it's definitely something that I didn't have in this list before. Okay, so that's kind of a cool thing. You can choose from all these pictures of the clouds or upload your own photos. Then you can do all kinds of changes here. So I can shift the edge. Let's just see what that does. Kind of makes the edge faded at the bottom. If I go to the right, it really messes up with the photo. So I probably don't want to go to the right. Maybe soften it at the bottom a little bit right there. Fade the edge. If I go to the right, it fades. If I go to the left, it doesn't fade. So I might soften up the transition right in there. Brightness, I can make the clouds a little brighter, make it a little heavier. I can adjust the temperature, maybe add a little more gold tones in there, or make it a little cooler and more blue, or just keep the weather as neutral as possible. I can make the clouds bigger or make them a little smaller. But then the whole photo gets too small, so I don't want to do that. You definitely want your photo to at least fill the space. And then you have lighting modes on the characters down here. These really come into play when you're using a photo that has different colors, like a bright orange sunset or things like that. In this case, I'm just going to go with this. I like those clouds. They're definitely better than the ones I had before. I click OK. And this is all non-destructive, which means all of that work was placed in this little layer folder or layer group. If I turn it off, I never touched the photo. I just added something to see what the effect would look like and if I liked it or not. Okay, but now you know the process for it. And that's all I wanted you to try is throw in a different sky in there. If you want to use one of those from Photoshop, you don't like my skies, this is the great thing. I throw away that folder. I start right back where I began. I do it all over again. Edit menu, sky replacement. Instead of using the sky that I uploaded, maybe I come down and I start checking out some of these. Maybe I want these looming clouds on the horizon. I like how they're all pointing out this kind of perspective. Or if I do a sunset shot, now I can get some warmer tones spilling down into these areas. So you can see right there, I've got foreground lighting. You see how it affects around the edges of the figures. I've got edge lighting right there. They're really subtle, but they do make a difference. See, if I go way over to the right, I have more of a reddish tone picked up from the sky. If I go back to the left, we get rid of some of that, kind of like reflective environmental colors. But pick whatever you want and click OK. Change up the sky. It's non-destructive, and that's the great thing about this feature. I love it. Fun to play with Photoshop. So choose any sky you want, and then go to File, Save a Copy as always. I'm going to call this last name, first name, Sky Replace. Always on my desktop, always as a JPEG, and always 8 or high quality. And there we go, replacing skies here in Photoshop. Quick and easy.